Hello, hello, Capricorn. Welcome to your May 2019 overview reading. This is good for you if you're a sun, moon, or rising Capricorn. And I had to go back to my old filming setup, so these videos are not going to be edited the way they normally are, as you might notice if you have been on my channel for a while. So the audio might be different, the camera might be different, so just bear with me. And as usual, if you're interested in any of the decks that I lay out today, they're all listed in the description box, as well as all of the links to work with me, so check that out. Okay. Then I'm going to lay out the timeline and we will get into the reading. Okay, shall we start with the truth bomb? I definitely think we should. So let's see what's coming up for you this month. This one definitely wants to come up. Anxiety directs your attention to an illusion. Right, so one of the things that happens with anxiety is that it really has you projecting yourself into the future, right? So your brain is constantly scanning for like, what could go wrong? What am I missing? What do I need to stay on top of? And that's not necessarily going to be a good move this month. So it might require you to actively exercise your ability to reframe certain situations and events. Just keep that in mind. Like, where is your attention and focus going this month? And if it's trying to project into the future, it might be better to like actively manifest things that are positive. Okay, then we have bear. So hibernation comes up a lot of the time when I'm seeing this card, like more of a period of needing to contemplate and focus on long-term plans, big picture vision. That's what I'm getting for this, because when we go into a bear mode or a period where this is like the animal that we're working with, it's either going to be about rest and needing to relax and decompress, or like focusing on foundation and big picture stuff. Because the bear is in it for the long haul. Okay, let's see what else. We have the Sovereign Oracle coming up. Okay. Story. Weave a fable, share your heroic journey, tell yourself a conscious, loving tale. So watch yourself with the internal talk and the dialogue this month. That's going to be important, especially if you're dealing with anxiety of any variety. And remember that the internal dialogue, when you're mastering that, if you get to the point where you really have a harness on the story that you're telling yourself, man, that is such an asset. So don't forget that that's a really big deal for you this month, is to practice weaving that fable. Like, what do you want to be telling yourself? Because remember, if you're telling yourself something, you're going to believe it. Like, your body is going to hear it and receive it as truth. So the faster you can clean that up, the better your manifestations are going to be, the better your situations will become. And it does have a compound effect. Now, the central energy for you in the month of May is the Six of Wands. This is the victory card, aligning with the things that you ultimately want, need, and desire. And the victory card is kind of like the success card, right? So maybe you've been doing really well, and that could also be why you're having anxiety. If things are going right, if things are going well, it can often bring up, well, when's the other shoe gonna drop? And some of those things might make you retreat a little bit more. So make sure that you're staying really present with this whenever possible. What you have shifting out in May is the King of Swords. This is actually reading as a person. So maybe it's a business partner, maybe it's someone that just wasn't good for you, or who is in your space that just really doesn't need to be there. But it's very potently coming up as a person, and I'm getting that this person simply no longer resonates with you, is no longer aligned with you, or doesn't actually serve you in any way, shape, or form. At least the relationship doesn't seem to be serving you in any way, shape, or form. So I think that this is like part of what's getting decluttered and is helping you kind of move into a more positive direction in terms of the quality of people that you have in your life. So remember, if you're in this period of saying yes to people that are not good for you or don't add value to your life, then that will make you a magnet for more people who do that same thing. So you have to be really strategic with who you're saying yes to and who you're saying no to, and what you want for yourself. Like, just ask yourself that question, because it's also, if you're doing really well, it's one of those things where you're going to want to definitely be aware of who you have in your space, you know, who's riding on your coattails, who's getting more value from you than you are from them. Those are the types of relationships that are worth evaluating. The oncoming energy for May is Temperance. I'm going to clarify this one actually. Ten of Cups. So what does sustainable satisfaction look like? I'm asking that because I know that a lot of people have this idea that like happiness and fulfillment means extreme joy all of the time. And quite honestly, extreme joy is not sustainable, right? Like you're a human being with a full spectrum of emotions. So having extreme joy at a permanent level actually would end up draining color from your life. And so that's where the Ten of Cups is like, yes, satisfaction, fulfillment, and happiness are all key components of, you know, living a happy, healthy life. But it matters when it comes to the sustainability of those feelings, and that's what the Temperance card is reflecting back to you. It's like, okay, great, you're looking for that fulfillment and you're working towards that, but just keep in mind, like, where is your baseline? What does a good baseline feel like? Because a good baseline isn't going to be up here. It's going to be solid. It's going to be a nice platform for you to jump off of. Okay, now let's go ahead and see what's going on in your outer world. This is more of like external influences, external people, situations that are going on outside. We have the Hermit. Let me pull the other one first before I speak to that. We have the Ace of Pentacles. Okay, now this to me looks like either a new project or a new vision that's brewing, or I don't know, because it's not expressed yet. It hasn't come to life quite yet. Like, that's honestly what this is, because the Hermit is that retreat card. It's that bear card. It's the same idea of needing to pull your energy back and recalibrate yourself. And I think it might be a new, not professional direction, but maybe a professional endeavor or an academic endeavor or something of that sort. Because the Ace of Pentacles is like, what are you bringing to life? What is that seed that you're planting? And so it might require you to contemplate that for a while. Like, think about what you're really seeing for yourself in that regard. I'm going to clarify these, just pull an additional card. I have the Ace of Wands. You have the energy to give this through and through. I just think that when it comes to taking action, you know, don't be try not to be too trigger happy. Like, think about what you're wanting long term, like what is sustainable for yourself. You know, if you're acting from a place of, I'm just going to do this so that I can so I can reach a material goal or something like that, really check yourself on sustainability when it comes to that, because the energy that's sitting here is like, you want to focus on what can keep you satisfied long term, what that story looks like. If you only have one goal and it's not like a big picture or a full picture of satisfaction, then that's actually going to be really fleeting. So I think this month has you contemplating your own vision for the future, your own endeavors, your own projects, your own, you know, and by your own projects, I mean, that could even be something like a family. You know, it doesn't have to be professional in any way. It's just about like, beware of an illusion of I'll be satisfied and happy when I get X. That's a dangerous road to go down. So you really want to pay attention to what exactly are you chasing? What exactly are you after? What are the feelings that are coming up that you want or need? Like, just pay close attention to your motivations this month and what you're going for. Now let's look at what's going on with you specifically in the subconscious, the internal world. Two of Pentacles. This is about decision making. I think you have a lot to consider, and don't feel pressure to like make massive moves this month. I think this is about contemplation, having gratitude for where you're at, and paying attention to the story you're telling yourself. Like I said, especially if that's, I'll be happy when I have blank. I will be satisfied when I have X amount of money, or I will, you know, when I get that partner, that's what's going to be satisfying. Things like that are what needs to be revised, and that's where you want to spend some contemplation or a little bit of time, like mapping that out for yourself. What decisions are you making on a day-to-day basis? That's also what the Two of Pentacles can represent, is like each and every day you wake up and you make a series of decisions. You know, what does that look like? Consider the compound effect for each and every step, where that's going to put you in the long term. And then we also have the Fool, a new experience, a new internal, how do I put it? Just a new internal world. That's what this is. It has to be something that you've never done before. It has to look different than all of the other stories that you've been telling yourself, or all the other times that you've been in this position or making decisions. Like, keep a close eye on what you'd like to adjust and what it is that you'd like to start approaching from a different angle. I'm going to clarify the Fool as well. I feel like there's a little bit more information there. The Hanged Man. Okay, so this now looks like habits. Like I said, it's the small decisions that are going to make the biggest impact. It's not making big radical moves. That's not necessarily going to deliver the biggest impact. I know that might be easier if you were just in a position to think, well, if I do this one big move, then it's going to put me where I want to be. And while that can be true sometimes, it looks like your focus for May is really about what is the micro decision or the micro habit that you can adjust in order to head in the right direction for you. It's not about, right being a value judgment that anyone else is placing on your life. It has to do with what's your end goal, what are your daily decisions, what isn't adding up, and what do you need to adjust in order to make that a reality. It's very, very simple. So that's that's what you want to consider. Like, I would recommend that you take a look at what you want for May, what your goals are for May, what your intentions are for May. Like, consider all of that, and then, you know, figure out what you can do on a daily basis to support you in getting there. All right, let's move into the timeline. So first, second, third, and fourth quarter, that'll be where you end the month of May. First quarter, we have the Ace of Cups. Fill your own cup first. Same idea as put your own oxygen mask on first before you start helping other people. And you're going to have more to give. You're going to be more available for the things that you want, need, and desire. And for your manifestations, if you're giving to yourself first, that's very important. Don't forget, if you have a lot of Capricorn energy, it can be very easy to overwork. And this is where you want to kind of maybe rethink working harder and start stepping into how can I get my energy to support this work that I'm doing. Okay, and then second quarter, we have the Fool. I think this is really where you start to recognize what changes you want to make or what adjustments you're in the process of making and how they help you. This is just really straightforward. Like, if you are focusing more on the self-care component, it's going to be easier to sustain and look at as, okay, this is something I need to incorporate. So don't forget that. Quarter three, we have the Strength card, personal power. It's like you really are getting your motivation back or your clarity back on the direction that you're going in and the sustainability of that direction. And the Strength card is just a reflection of what you really are able to accomplish in that regard. So it looks like this is building a lot for you so that you can take action. I think that June is probably going to be a really action-oriented month for you, but this month is important to refine and slowly adjust the wheel so that you're able to get things done in June in an efficient way, in a way that really works. And then wrapping up the month, we have the Four of Wands. So this is the Happy Home card. And it's also, I'm just seeing that this is really putting a strong emphasis on, like, what are your roots, what grounds you, what plants you, what makes you feel like you're taken care of. At the end of the day, that's what the Happy Home card also represents, is like, you know, make sure you're taking care of that, because it has way more of an impact than I think you realize, especially if you are focused on, like, results, making things happen, getting things done. Don't forget the power of being able to decompress and having a strong, grounded root so that you're able to do all of those things and create sustainability within whatever realm you're working in. Now we're going to do a 3-card pick, so pay attention to whichever card is jumping out at you, or whatever it is that you want to ask. All right, card number 1. Mage of Branches. So this is going to be a time when you want to evaluate where your energy is going. I think that Capricorn energy is really good at funneling their focus into specific areas, but it's just about, like, editing that a little bit and revising, you know, where are you planting things? Where is your focus? What's mushrooming? What's growing? And that's going to be a big tell on what it is that you're doing and what direction you're going, etc., etc. So just notice this side of things. Notice what's going on here, because it's going to help you like I said, the contemplation and kind of evaluating what it is that you're planting and where you're putting that energy is the primary thing that needs to be looked at. Card number 2, we have the 5 of branches. Friction is what helps you gain traction, and traction is what levels you up and takes you to the next step. So I know that there's like I don't know, the 5, and you guys, if you've been on my channel for a while, you know this is my favorite card in tarot. And I think it's so misunderstood because people look at it as like a conflict card, but problem solving is honestly what sets you up for success later on. And if you're like running into obstacles and barriers right now, remember that when you work through those, it gives you a different perspective. It helps you get more wisdom. It helps you to learn, and it helps you navigate things in a new way. So every time there's friction, it's a learning opportunity. And I don't think that, that's worth scoffing at. I think it's something that can really be valued. So don't forget how important this is. Card number 3, we have the Sun, vitality, getting your energy back, kind of like this strength card. You might be just like refilling your tank. This would also be a great month to like focus on play and having fun a little bit more, especially if you feel like you're not good at that or you don't know how to do that. Then it's definitely worth exploring because it's going to help get your body, your energetic body at least, moving and flowing in ways that aren't typical. And that can really help with creative problem solving. It can really help with your energy levels. It can really help with new projects, new endeavors. So don't shut that down. It's something that's really worth investigating and playing around with. All right, my friends, that is all that I have for you today. I certainly hope you've enjoyed this reading as much as I've enjoyed reading for you. And until next time, I wish you nothing but the best. Don't forget, if you want to work with me one-on-one, all of the links are in the description box, as well as all of the cards that I've used. Thank you so much for subscribing, sharing, liking, and following me on Instagram at Onyx Healing. So I will see all of you later. Thank you so much, and have a good one, everybody. Bye-bye.